don't raise our voices here. No stage beneath our feet. A moment holds us where we stand, complete. And all affection just as fire that burn to be believed. This feels like something built to last, because it's free. No blinkers searching for a cue, no lies we must defend. We stand inside the quiet truth that doesn't bend. There's nothing to prove, no reason left to show. This life is wide enough to hold exactly what we know. Nothing to prove. We walk the day without display. No armor in our tone. There's comfort in the way we meet. It's equals grown. The calm between us isn't thin and doesn't fade or strain. It feels like standing in our truth again. No counting steps, no second guess, no balance left to move. We place our trust where it belongs and choose. There's nothing to prove, no way we have to carry. This closeness isn't something rare or temporary. We don't demand the moment shine or ask it to improve. We stay right where we already are. Nothing to confidence arrives this way without a claim or sound. It settles in when both can stand on solid ground. But everything that matters most announces what it is. Some truths feel strongest when they rest. Love We live inside this steady calm, nothing to prove. The shape of someone else. Every hour had a reason then, beyond myself. Now mornings rise without a pull, no promise left to chase. I greet the light the way it comes and take my place. Some feelings fade into the back without a sound or fight. They don't leave scars upon the skin, they simply change their light. I'm finding where love fits now, not at the center of it all, more like a window left ajar, or footsteps in the hall. It doesn't guide my every move or ask me to bow. It's part of who I've been before. I'm finding where love fits now. I pass familiar corners still, they don't ask me to stay. The weight they carried once upon them slipped away. I smile at memories that arise without wishing them near. They sit beside me for a while, then clear. I stopped believing closeness had to define my ground. Some truth remained without a voice, yet still feels sound. I'm finding where love fits now, somewhere softer than before. Not gone, not holding every thought, just resting near the door. It doesn't fill the empty space or teach me how. It simply lives among my days. I'm finding where love fits now. Maybe love was never lost or meant to fade away. It only changed the role it plays along the way. I carry it without a grip, I let it drift around. It stays a feeling, not a rule or solid ground. I'm finding where love fits now, between the calm and clear. Not something driving every step, just something still held dear. I walk ahead with open hands, no vow, no sacred how. Let it be what it can be. That's where love fits now. We learned each other without trying, like it was just the air we breathed. Every year fell into place without a question in between. Your laugh lived inside my day. My name felt safe inside your mouth. We never stopped to ask what it was. We just let it work itself out. There was no line we ever crossed, but we lived right on the edge. I kept waiting for the moment you'd say it first instead. We had a love we never named. We let it stay undefined. Too close to call it nothing, too scared to call it mine. I don't blame you, I don't blame me. We did the best we knew how to do. We had a love we never named, and now it's slipping through. We talked about the future loosely, like it wasn't ours to claim. I hid my hope in half smiles, you hid yours the same way. Every almost stayed and almost every sign was read too late. We were fluent in each other, but silent on the name. If I had said it out loud, would it have changed the tone? Or would it have broken something that felt safer left alone? We had a love we never named. It lived in borrowed time. I felt it every time you left and every time you stayed the night. I don't blame you, I don't blame me. There was fear on both our sides. We had a love we never named, and now it's learning how to hide. I don't replay it to punish us. I don't wish you were someone else. I just wonder sometimes quietly if I should have spoken for myself. If love is more than what we felt, if it needs a voice to stay, maybe silence kept it gentle, but also let it fade. Still meant what it meant. If I say it now, it's only for me, and that's enough. Or the plans you make out loud. I don't sit beside your daylight or the crowds you move around. But when the room goes quiet, and your phone is face down. That's when I feel you near me, like a thought you won't write down. I don't need a place to stay in the hours you can see. I just wonder who I am when it's only you and me. I'm the one you feel at midnight when the noise is finally gone. I'm the echo in the silence that you don't stay on for long. I don't live in your tomorrow or the life you let them see. I'm just someone you remember when the night remembers me. You never say my name out loud, but it lingers in your breath, like a sentence left unfinished that you don't correct. You scroll past all the open doors, all the faces shining bright. Then you stop a little longer on the past you meet at night. I don't ask you for the truth, I don't ask you to explain. I've learned the way you reach for me is quiet, soft and late. I'm the one you feel at midnight when your defenses fall, when the world stops asking questions and you don't answer calls. I don't live where choices happen or where futures start to be. I'm just someone you remember when you finally feel lonely. I used to wish the night would last long enough to change your mind, but morning always comes too fast and leaves me far behind. Maybe this is all I am, a feeling you don't keep, a door you close in daylight but open in your sleep. I'm the one you feel at midnight, not the one you choose to stay. I exist between the seconds you let quietly slip away. And even though it hurts to know what I was, not what I'll be, I'm still someone you remember when the night won't let you sleep. If I live only in your quiet, I'll learn how to be quiet too. I stay busy, I stay loud. I fill my hands with distractions so I don't think too far down. I make plans that don't include you, say I'm fine and almost am. But when the noise finally settles, that's when I feel who I am. I don't mean to pull you closer, only when the room is still. But it's easier to miss you when I'm hiding how I feel. asking why, when there's no one left to notice what I keep locked inside. I don't reach out, I don't choose what I know I couldn't keep. I think of you after dark, when I'm alone with me. You were comfort without pressure. You were warmth I didn't name. I knew what it would cost you every time I stayed unclear, but silence felt much safer than facing all that fear. If I said it in the open, I'd have to make it real. I was scared of breaking you, breaking how I feel. I think of you after dark, when my defenses fall apart, when the truth gets too familiar and I can't outrun my heart. I don't text, I don't explain, I just let the feeling be. Think of you after dark, and what you still are to me. I know you deserve a daylight love, someone brave enough to stay. Not a thought I visit quietly at the end of every day. I won't pretend I didn't know what this distance put you through. I just didn't know how to be what you needed me to do. I think of you after dark, not because I don't care, but because it's the only time I let myself go there. If loving you means choosing you, then this is where I fail. I think of you after dark, and let the morning erase the trail. If you ever felt forgotten, please know you were never nothing. I just wasn't enough. The sky arrives without a sound, no color asking to be seen. The snow has settled into ground like it has always been. I stand where winter held my days and notice how it feels. Not heavy now, not sharp or close, just real. Nothing waits for me ahead, nothing pulls behind. The moment rests exactly here in time. This is the last quiet morning, nothing left to hold. The season did what it could do, and now let's go. No goodbye. written in the light, no reason to keep score. I stand inside the final calm, this last quiet morning. The air feels clear against my skin, not warm but not unkind. The cold no longer asks my heart to brace or hide. I've walked this stillness end to end and know it well by now. It shaped me slowly, honestly, and both. I don't mark the change with words or name what's gone away. Some chapters close without a sound this way. This is the last quiet morning after all the snow. Not bright, not new, just open space where something else may grow. I don't carry winter forward or push it from the door. I thank it for the way it held this last quiet morning. Don't require a sign or proof, they've come to pass. They show themselves when silence stays and lasts. I feel no rush to turn away or trace what used to be. I let the cold step out of me and leave. This is the last quiet morning, nothing left to say. The ground remembers every step, then smooths the way. I face the day without a shield or stories to perform. I stand within the open air after the storm. I was always where you landed when the world felt hard to face. You would rest inside my silence, then run back to another place. I held space without a question, never asked you where you'd been. You would leave with perfect timing just before it settled in. You said my name like it was shelter, not a destination road. I was comfort in the waiting, not the choice you finally chose. I was almost chosen, almost enough to stay, close enough to feel your heart, but never in the final frame. I stood right beside the answer while you searched for something new. I was almost chosen, but never fully you. You kept me in your you up from every storm, then watched you move along. You never lied, you never promised, still it slowly wore me thin. Being safe without being held is where the tiredness begins. Every time you hesitated, I stepped back and made it easy. Every time you almost stayed, something in me weakened quietly. I was almost chosen, always close, never sure. You would reach for me in moments, then walk past me at the door. I carried all the patience while you figured out your truth. I was almost chosen, but never fully you. Something shifted in the waiting, something finally stood upright. I saw myself through tired eyes and felt the weight of every night. Being second has a language only lonely hearts can hear, and mine is done translating all the reasons you were here. I was almost chosen, but that almost took too much. Being halfway in your story costs more than being loved. So this is where I leave it, with my head and heart aligned. I was almost chosen, now I choose what's mine. Some doors close quietly, so others open wide. Once your footsteps traced my corners, every turn and lane was known. You mapped your laughter through my windows, called my quiet halls your own. The walls still hold the warmth of summer, long after seasons turned. Postcards fade without the letters, and bridges fall unburned. Places never ask for reason, they just wait and they endure. Some are crowded, some abandoned, some remembered, some obscure. I became a city you no longer travel through, filled with every golden moment built from being close to you. Now the doors stay open, though no visitor arrives, just a place you don't return to in the landscape of your life. There's still music in the stairs, locations keep their meaning, others stay inside the head. I became a city you'll no longer travel through, once familiar, now forgotten, like a landmark you outgrew. Still the gates stay open, still the dusk ignites the sky, just a place once loved by someone who stopped passing by. No bitterness in empty sidewalks, no resentment in the air. Some departures feel like weather, not a choice, just something fair. Even ruins glow at twilight, even absence can be kind. Every map has silent borders where old memories decline. I became a city you stepped out without a sound, left no damage on departure, only quiet, only ground. Some places keep their purpose, even if they're unexplored. I will bloom for other travelers who find worth beyond the door. Path is followed, not every visit stays, but even lonely spaces hold beauty in their ways. I can hear you breathing in the dark. Every step you take is where I am. We're close enough to touch the air, but somehow I don't reach you there. Your shadow leans against the wall, mine is fading, barely holding on. We say the words that feel safe, but never the ones that shake. I feel your silence moving in, like a door you won't open yet. I trace your name inside my head, wonder if you feel the same regret. We're standing in the same room, worlds apart inside. Your eyes are looking through me, like I'm not on your mind. I don't know how to cross this space, but love won't show its face. We're standing in the same room, but living different lives. I watch your hands curl into doubt, like you're holding something you won't give out. Your voice sounds warm but distant still, like a promise you're afraid to feel. I smile just to keep the peace, hide the ache you never see. If love is here, it's out of reach, just close enough to quietly bleed. I'm screaming softly in my chest, afraid to say what matters. between the silent spaces, waiting to be loved. Reach for me carefully, like the ground might give way. Every touch stops just short of asking me to stay. I feel what you're holding back, even when you're near. There's warmth in the silence, but it's guarded by fear. You circle the feeling like it might break the room. Love waits in the doorway, fear enters first every time you move. I'm almost safe enough for you to fall into, almost close enough to be chosen to. You let me feel the edges, but never the core. Fear always arrives before love walks through the door. You speak in half promises that never ask for more. You stand right beside me, still watching the floor. I carry the weight of what you won't try. You call it being careful, but careful has a price. Every time it feels real, you pull the line tight. Like happiness is something that disappears if held too tight. I'm almost safe enough to trust with your heart, almost the place where your defenses start. You stay close to the moment, but far from the truth. Fear keeps choosing first before you choose me and you. I don't doubt what you feel, I doubt what you allow. Some people protect themselves so much they never arrive. You brace for the ending before anything begins, calling it survival while quietly losing again. I'm almost safe enough, but almost isn't home. You rest in the maybe instead of what's known. I stay where you left me, between yes and no, watching fear take the lead every time love gets close. If love needs courage, fear will always be early. asking me to stay. The space between us feels alive, not something I must explain. There's comfort in the way you're near, without a claim upon my name. You let me breathe the way I am, and nothing feels restrained. I've known affection dressed as grip, I felt it close, too tight. This feels like standing in the sun, not pulling at the light. This is being held without holding, stillness without a chain. Love that stands beside the truth and never asks to reign. You don't trace the edges of my life or tell me where to stand. You meet me where I already am, held without holding hands. You listen more than you reply. You don't correct my tone. You let my silence finish first before you offer your own. There's no arrangement in your eyes, no fear of where I go. You trust the path beneath my feet enough to let it show. I don't feel measured when I speak or watched when I turn away. There's freedom in the way you stay and never ask me to stay. This is being held without holding, care without command. You don't reduce me to your world or ask me to expand. You don't divide me into parts to understand who I am. You leave me whole, you leave me real, held without holding hands. Some love is quiet by design. It doesn't rise or fall. It waits with patience in the room and never asks at all. It doesn't fear the open door or question where you roam. It knows the heart returns itself when it feels home. This is being held without holding, no pressure, no demand, just presence offered honestly without a plan. You don't secure me with your arms, you don't explain who I am. You let me stay exactly me, held without holding hands. slow down behind me, like something waited in the air. The streetlights flickered just a little, as if they almost cared. I heard my steps against the pavement, count time I couldn't see. There was a weight inside the quiet that followed silently. I paused without a reason, just long enough to breathe. Something tugged at my attention, but stayed unnamed in me. I kept walking forward with the past right at my back. One glance could have shifted something, but I stayed on track. I felt a question in my shadow I never turned to face. Some moments pass unnoticed, still they never erase. I told myself the feeling was nothing I should slow. That comfort lives in motion, and stopping asks too much to know. I trusted forward movement more than unfinished air, so I left the silence standing like it didn't matter there. The night held on to something I chose not to receive. I stepped ahead of meaning and called it being free. I kept walking forward, let the stillness stay behind. I mistook relief for clarity and timing for a sign. There was warmth just out of vision that I never tried to place. Some moments pass unnoticed, still they never erase. Years later it returns to me, without blame or regret, just a frame that never softened and hasn't faded yet. I don't relive it for the ending or the words we never said. It lives as one small instant that stayed where it was left. You say my name like it still fits, like nothing shifted underneath. But I've been changing quietly in ways you never see. You smile like you remember me from somewhere far behind, like I'm a picture you still keep from a different time. I wonder who you're reaching for when you look at me this way. Is it who I am right now, or who I was that day? Do you miss the version you met before the edges showed, before the nights weighed heavier than I ever told, when I was softer in your hands and lighter in my skin? Do you miss the version you met, or who I've been? I hear it in the way you speak, like something slightly gone. You hold the past between your words and call it moving on. I stand right here in front of you, still breathing, still the same. But loving me now feels different than loving who I became. If I could step back into time and stay the way you knew, would that make this easier for me and you? Do you miss the version you met before I learned to bend, before the weight of every choice settled in my chest, when I laughed without defense and trusted where we stood? Do you miss the version you met, or who I grew? People change without permission, even while love stays kind. I didn't mean to lose your picture, I just followed time. Maybe you're holding on to a moment I outgrew, and maybe that's the reason I feel new to you. If you miss the version you met, I hope you let her rest. She gave you everything she had before she became this. I'm still here, just not the same. And that's the truth I bring. If you miss the version you met, please see who's standing in. I'm not less than who I was, just further along. The morning stays behind the glass, not bright but clear enough. A thin line cuts the frozen pain, and that is just enough. remains exactly still. No sign it understands. Yet something reaches through the cold and rests upon my hands. I don't assume it means a change or asks me to begin. I only notice how it falls and where it's been. This is light through frost, not warm, not strong, just finding places it belongs. No promise held, no future crossed, just truth arriving, light through frost. The ground keeps wearing winter's face. The air stays thin and sharp. Yet every edge reflects a glow that leaves its mark. I've stopped expecting brighter days or answers set in stone. I let the quiet show me this and nothing more. It doesn't ask me to believe or lift my head. It only asks that I remain way where I'm led. This is light through frost, a gentle line, not pushing dark, just sharing time. No call to rise, no cost, no loss, just presence passing, light through frost. Hope doesn't always raise its voice or wear a brighter face. Sometimes it simply enters rooms without a trace. It doesn't promise anything or tell me what to trust. It stands beside the cold I know and stays with us. This is light through frost. I don't deny the weight that lives on either side. I let it touch what time has crossed. No cure, no vow, just light through frost. The street was holding its breath that night, lights humming low and gold. You walked ahead, I stayed behind, with words I never told. Your jacket moved with the passing air, like it almost knew my name. I counted steps between us both, pretending nothing changed. Time slowed down between your stride and the place you disappeared. I stayed still inside that second, hoping you might feel me here. If you had looked back just 1 second longer, if your feet had paused before moving on, that moment still lives like a quiet anchor, holding everything that never got drawn. The night still plays in borrowed light. Every now and then I see it when the world gets soft, like it's happening again. You didn't rush, you didn't run, nothing sharp or fast. It was just a step too forward that slipped into the past. Some moments never say goodbye, they simply lose their sound. They stay suspended in the air, waiting to be found. If you had looked back before the door went quiet, if your hand had stayed midway in space, I'd carry that frame like a still photograph, never torn, never replaced. I don't hold it like a failure, I don't frame it as a loss. It was love without direction at a single crossroads. Maybe every life has moments that don't move or fade, they stay exactly where they were, unchanged. If you had looked back, the world might have shifted or maybe stayed the same. I'll never know, but that 1 second still feels infinite, like a door I didn't close. Some moments never leave, they just stop moving. Your kindness came in measured lines, warm enough to stay, just enough to paint tomorrow in a watercolor way. The room held space for fantasies, like promises in bloom. They never pushed to being real. They only fill the room. Comfort makes a quiet bed, soft and safe and warm. Hard to leave that gentle place when there's no obvious harm. Stay because hoping was easier than letting go. Lived on a someday that never learned to grow. Settled for almost because almost felt strong. Love wasn't offered, still stayed far too long. Told myself it meant something, that affection had a shape. Tried to read signs in shadows, like meaning might escape. Didn't hurt in obvious ways, just kept the heart half full, a gentle kind of tethering. Never firm, never pull. Hope can be a cushion when the absence isn't loud. So easy to mistake comfort for being truly found. Stay because hoping was easier than seeing through. Held to a future that never followed through. Settled for almost, like half of a song. Verses unfinished, rest left undone. No one shattered anything, no dramatic fall, just a quiet realization it was never love at all. Nothing wrong with tenderness, nothing wrong with care, but longing without meaning leaves the heart suspended there. Truth has its own courage when illusions fade to dawn. Comfort isn't passion, and hope can't fill the space where love should have shown up with more than just grace. Kept the door so open for a feeling never sent. Now stepping past the threshold with a heart finely intent. Awaken to an ordinary day, no mirror asking me to change. The light arrives without a test and lets these stay the same. I've carried weight across these years, some seen, some understood. Yet here I am still standing close to what feels good. I don't myself without defense and breathe. I'm still kind to me after all this time. I don't turn away when memories rise or cross the line. I speak my name without a charge. I hold myself gently, not perfect, not undone, still kind to me. I've known the voice that sharpens truth until it cuts too deep. I've watched it turn on quieter days when rest came cheap. But now I answer softer thoughts with patience I can feel. I let the moment move at pace that feels real. I don't force meaning into pain or rush it out to sea. I give it room, I give it time with me. I'm still kind to me when the night feels long. I don't frame my heart as something wrong for feeling strong. I place my hand upon my chest and let the silence be. No fixing, no retreat, still kind to me. Compassion isn't loud or proud. It doesn't ask for proof. It's choosing not to harden up against the truth. It's letting rest arrive on time without apology, and trusting who I've grown into is enough for me. I'm still kind to me in the common strain. I don't reduce my worth to loss or gain. I walk forward without armor or a need to flee. I live this life with open hands, still kind to me. Recognize the way you stand, the pause before you speak. It feels like something I once knew, but shaped unique. same old warmth, a different air. No weight from what has been. We meet as people change by years, not who we were back then. Time doesn't ask us to repeat or carry former roles. It only opens quiet doors we choose to hold. Familiar hands, a newer time, no past to reenact. We don't revive another life, we meet exactly as we stand. The comfort feels recognizable, but nothing feels confined. I know this touch, I know this calm. Familiar hands, new time. You smile without the careful guard that wants to find your face. I see the calm you grew into at your own pace. There's trust inside the way we move, no fear of what it means. We don't explain the history between. What mattered then can rest its shape without a claim today. We stand inside a gentler truth and stay. Familiar hands, a newer time, no roles to reorganize. We don't compare this moment now to something left behind. The feeling isn't rushing back or asking us to sign. It's simply present, clear and warm. Familiar hands, new time. Some connections don't return, they quietly transform. They shed the past they lived inside and take a different form. It isn't fate or second chance or something to define. It's just two people meeting now across time. Familiar hands, a newer time, no script we have to play. We let the closeness find its depth in its own way. asked you things that once had meaning, questions meant for two. Waited for the smallest signal, something honest, something true. Conversation turned to pacing, looking for a sound, but quiet gathered in the corners and wrapped the room around. Sometimes truth is spoken without any spoken line. Absence can be language if you read it over time. When silence becomes the answer, there's nothing left to ask. No puzzle needing solving, no uncompleted task. Every road you didn't travel, every word you didn't choose. When silence becomes the answer, the heart already knows the news. Pauses grew a little longer till they didn't break at all. Questions turned from curious to a kind of quiet fall. Didn't need an explanation, didn't need a plan. The void between the syllables was clearer than you can. Truth can feel like thunder, even when it makes no sound. It ends before it's spoken, leaves the rest unbound. When silence becomes the answer, you finally see the frame. Nothing hidden in the margins, no secret left unnamed. Every door you didn't open, every chance you didn't choose. When silence becomes the answer, there's nothing more to lose. Standing in the quiet, I finally heard my voice. Pain can hold its wisdom if you're brave enough to choice. Questions fall to stillness, and stillness clears the view. Sometimes no reply is mercy, sometimes silence tells the truth. When silence becomes the answer, the heart can finally move. No apologies or reasons left hovering in the room. Every step without resistance, every path without demand. When silence becomes the answer, you finally understand. No more asking in the dark, no more reaching for a spark. Quiet holds the final word, and I let go of what I heard. The room still holds your laughter, like it hasn't figured out that the sound already left us, but the silence stayed around. Your smile is on the table, your words still in the air. Everything feels warmer the truth we didn't share. I wait for the moment when the echo fades away, but it hangs in the corners of everything you say. This is the space after laughter, when joy leaves first in us. The quiet feels heavier than the things we never discussed. I stay where the feeling was louder than the doubt I feel right now. This is what's left in the room when happiness steps out. Still joking, still near, but the sound falls flatter every time it reappears. You reach for something lighter, I reach for something true. We laugh to fill the distance, but the distance stays with you. There's a pause between the moments where I almost speak, but the room already knows what you won't hear from me. This is the space after laughter, when the spark goes quiet first. We keep pretending comfort is enough to stop the hurt. I watch the joy exit early, like it knows how this ends, leaving me with the quiet and the shape we were in. Laughter used to be a signal that we were still okay. Now it sounds like something borrowed that won't decide to stay. You can't force light to linger. Once the reason's gone, the room remembers happiness long after it moves on. The space after laughter, where the truth finally breathes. Nothing's broken out loud, but everything feels incomplete. I don't leave, I just notice what the silence allows. This is what remains between us. When joy leaves the room first, some rooms stay full even after the sound is gone.